what if I told you that both narcissists and empaths are born from the same root of suffering? Yes, the difference isn't where they start, it's how they carry that pain. Yes, okay? The narcissist uses suffering as a weapon while an empath uses it as a bridge. But there's more to this than just psychology, you guys. It's more to this than just psychology. Neuroscience explains the wiring. Self-empathy shapes the healing, and faith adds the strength to move forward. So stay with me, you guys, okay? Because once you see this connection, you're going to understand not only narcissists and empaths, but also yourself as a whole. You're going to understand yourself in a whole new way. So welcome to Trauma Talks. My name is Crystal Booth, okay? So let's get into how neuroscience explains this emotional wiring. Let's start with the brain, okay? Neuroscience shows that early suffering leaves an imprint. Yes, an imprint, you guys. For narcissists, the brain often builds walls, okay? A defense system designed to prevent further pain. Their emotional regulation circuits harden, protecting them from feeling too much. But for empaths, the opposite happens, you guys. Their mirror neurons, the parts of the brain that pick up on other people's emotions, become extra sensitive. Yes, they feel not only their own suffering, but also the pain of others, almost as if the pain is their own, actually. The fascinating part, you guys, is neither of these patterns is permanent, okay? The brain has plasticity. It can rewire itself, and that's where self-empathy and faith come in. Yes, and you know I got to get into how faith and self-empathy and neuroscience all work together. So thank you guys, okay? So let's talk about the narcissist cycle of pain, okay? All right. For narcissists, suffering often begins with wounds of neglect, rejection, or conditional love. Instead of learning to sit with their pain, like I teach you in self-empathy, their brain learns to escape it by projecting it onto others, projecting it outward, okay? So when they feel small, they make others feel small. When they feel unworthy, they make others question their worth. Yes, this is just how they handle it. But it's not that they want to be cruel. It's that cruelty becomes their shield. I know. Isn't that horrible? But here's the tragedy, you guys. The very system that protects them also isolates them. It keeps others away from them. It keeps them at a distance from others, never truly feeling the connection they secretly crave so much. Yes. Okay. So let's get further into this about the empaths. Okay. The empaths. Okay. The empaths have a gift, but they also have a burden. The empaths walk the opposite path. They don't shut out pain. Okay. They absorb it. Okay. Because they know what suffering feels like. They instinctively want to heal it in others. Yes, their pain becomes compassion. Okay, their suffering becomes service, right? But here's the danger. Here's the danger, you guys. Empaths often forget about themselves. They give and give and give until they're drained. They're simply drained. They start carrying the world's burden while ignoring their own burden. And that's why self-empathy isn't just optional. You guys, it is essential. Particularly for both of them. But for the empath, they will definitely understand it a lot better, okay? So, the role of self-empathy in true healing, okay? All right, let's get into that. Self-empathy means turning the same compassion you give out to others back towards yourself, okay? All right? And it's not selfish, you guys. It is survival. And neuroscience shows us that when we practice self-empathy, we calm the nervous system. We regulate stress and even reshape our brains wiring. It's so many things done with empathy. Yes. Okay. So for empaths, this prevents burnout. Okay. It prevents it. For a narcissist, it opens the doors to feeling again. Yes. Without self-empathy, we stay stuck in cycles, either projecting pain or drowning in pain. Okay. With it, healing begins. Yes. With it, healing begins, you guys. Okay. So we want to get that started here. Okay. So for faith, let's talk about where faith and psychology meet. Actually, they do meet. Okay. But there's a deeper layer that science alone just can't explain. Okay. And guess what that is? It's faith. Faith doesn't have to mean religion. It can be prayer, meditation, or simply trusting in God, who is bigger than us. Okay. All right. Faith gives meaning to suffering. It says your pain is not the end of the story. Okay. It invigorates the hope. Okay. It reinvigorates hope in you. Okay. So when neuroscience explains the brain, faith strengthens the heart. Yes. Together they create resilience. Yes. Resilience. And that's where true transformation happens. Okay. When the brain, the heart, and the spirit align, you are on your way back to yourself. Yes. Okay. So let's start to wind this down, you guys. Okay. So here's the question. When you suffer, which path do you take? Okay. Do you project your wounds outward or do you transform them into compassion? Yes. The answer doesn't just define narcissists and empaths. It defines us all. Yes. If this resonated with you, I would like you to share it because the world doesn't just need less suffering. It needs more people who know how to heal it. Yes. That's why I want to teach you about how to heal it. We need lots of people to know how to heal. Okay. As many as possible, you guys. Okay. So here's the real takeaway here. Okay. Let's begin to wind this down. Okay. Suffering itself isn't the enemy. Okay. That's what we need to understand. It's what we do with it. Okay. I always say it's not what happens to you. It's who you decide to become. Narcissists recycle their pain. Empaths transform it. Okay. When neuroscience, self-empathy, and faith come together, healing becomes possible. If this perspective made you think, you guys, differently about your own story, let me know in the comments. All right. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your experience. And if you think someone else needs to hear this, absolutely share it, you guys. Share it because the more we understand, the more about suffering, the closer we get to ending it. Yes, that's where we want to get to. Okay, so let's close this out together, you guys. All right. Thank you guys for joining me on Trauma Talks. I know I'm just so excited about this topic. Okay, so if you're an empath, the real question isn't why are they like this? That's not the question. It's why am I allowing this? Okay, because the moment you change yourself, all right, the cycle ends. It ends. You change yourself. The cycle ends. If this message is resonating, drop another comment below. Okay, share your thoughts. Okay, all right, contact me. Okay, I read everyone's comment. And if you know another empath who keeps finding themselves in these same cycles and patterns of burnout, emotional burnout, okay, send them this video. Sometimes one shift in your perspective is all it takes to start healing. Okay, all right. So thank you guys for joining me on Trauma Talks, and I will see you next time.